that saw my last video. The last video that I did was my NFL record predictions. I tried a new format for that video. The webcam and my voice were just not matching up, so I apologize for that. My solution is to not use the webcam and I'll just use my voice. I'm still gonna try this format of me actually talking over my video, other than just the music. I'll just be without a webcam for now until I figure out what exactly the issue was. So sorry about that, but we're going to start my video now. This is my starting quarterback ranking for the 2023 NFL season. At number 32, we have Joshua Dobbs / Clayton Thune. This is the Arizona Cardinals quarterback. Either one of them is going to be the worst quarterback in the league. That's really not debatable. Like, they both suck, so that's really all I got to say about that. Number 31, we have CJ Stroud. Now, he might not be the second worst quarterback in the league, but for me personally, the rookie quarterbacks, I am not ranking very high just because rookie quarterbacks generally do not produce very well. Trevor Lawrence, his rookie season, was a bottom 8 quarterback in the league. 2 years later, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, I'm not saying that CJ Stroud is going to suck forever. I'm just saying that right now, I've never seen him play an NFL game, so I don't really respect him a lot right now to move him up high in these rankings, right? So at number 30, I will have Anthony Richardson. Same scenario. I think Anthony Richardson will be better than CJ Stroud this year, mostly because of his rushing ability. He will have more rushing stats that will help boost him. But I think CJ Stroud is a better passer. Anthony Richardson will have better rushing stats this season than CJ Stroud. And that will be enough to make up the difference to rank him higher than CJ Stroud. At 29, I have Desmond Ritter. He was okay last year. He really only started in 4 games last year, so there's not a lot of experience for him either, compared to these rookies. He has 4 games more of experience, so there's really not a lot I can say there. So I hope that he's good this year, but I'm really not expecting much out of Desmond Ritter this season. Number 28, Baker Mayfield. So with Baker Mayfield, obviously he was not a very good quarterback last year, and I do not expect much of an improvement this year. He has 2 good weapons this year, so maybe he could utilize that and actually have a decent season this year, but I am just not going to count on Baker Mayfield having a good season in the NFL. It's just not happening. Number 27, Mac Jones. Now, this dude was a Pro Bowler as a rookie quarterback, and last year he sucked. So I'm very confused what is going on with this dude. I really do hope that a lot of it is Matt Patricia's fault. Because having Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinator is just a mistake in general under Bill Belichick's part. So I really hope that was a majority of the reason that he was so bad last year. But right now, based off how he did last year, I'm not projecting him to have a much better season this year. So number 26, Ryan Tannehill. This guy, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. He's past his prime, obviously. He's losing mobility. He's losing arm strength. He's getting old, okay? And I don't think this guy is going to start more than 6 games for the Titans this season. He's going to maybe 8 or 9 games. He's probably going to get to halfway through the season, maybe at maximum. But I think they're going to try Malik Willis and Will Levis in quite a few games this season. And the Titans are going to be so bad that they just end up starting those guys just so they can have some time to develop, right? So number 25, I have Bryce Young. Now, he is a rookie quarterback, and I have him ranked quite a few spots higher than the other rookie quarterbacks. But that's just because I believe in Bryce Young so much more to come in as a rookie and produce. Just because he has the intangibles of a quality quarterback. Not a amazing quarterback, a quality pocket passer, good decision-making quarterback, unlike CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson. They're more physically talented. Bryce Young is more mentally talented, which I think that will prepare him to be better for this first season in the league. But for seasons down the road, I don't know. CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson could be better than Bryce Young. Number 24, Sam Howell. See, when I was reading the Score app's quarterback rankings for this season, they had Sam Howell at number 32 on the list. I thought that was very disrespectful because from what I saw from this guy last year, he only started one game in the last game of the season. But he played really good against the Dallas Cowboys defense, who did have most of their starters, even though it was Week 18. So I do believe in Sam Howell to be a decent quarterback this season, and definitely better than the worst quarterback in the league. Number 23, Jimmy Garoppolo, the definition of mid. This guy, I'm very convinced that this guy was a product of the Kyle Shanahan offense. So I do think we will see a significant regression from his game in previous seasons to his game this season. But he still does have a very elite weapon in Devontae Adams, but I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to perform like a top 20 quarterback this season. Like I think it was definitely a top 20 quarterback in all his years at San Francisco, but that was in large part, I think, due to the scheme and play style of Kyle Shanahan, and not so much Jimmy Garoppolo's talent. Number 22, Jordan Love. I do realize that a lot of this is based off of potential because he has hardly started any NFL games in his career. The game that I am personally thinking about that makes me think that Jordan Love is going to be a good quarterback is when he went in for Aaron Rodgers against the Philadelphia Eagles last season and immediately threw a touchdown pass to Christian Watson. Like he played like 2 drives that game, and he looked like an elite quarterback in 2 drives against one of the best defenses in the entire league that season. So it's a very small sample size, but I do believe that Jordan Love will be a solid quarterback this season. Number 21, Daniel Jones. This guy was probably a top 16 quarterback easy last year, a top half of the quarterbacks. But I don't think that's going to happen this year too. Last year he had a career low, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but I believe last year he had a career low in interceptions and lost fumbles. Maybe he can keep that up, but personally, I do not think that he's going to continue to have that kind of luck. I think he's going to be more turnover prone this year than he was last year. Maybe not necessarily his fault because he does not have very good wide receivers. He does have a good tight end this year in Darren Waller, which should actually help him. But I do think that last year was kind of a fluke season for Daniel Jones and that he's going to come back to his more mid to bottom tier quarterbacks, like the 20 to 25 range of quarterbacks rather than like the 15 to 20 range or like the 12 to 16 range like he probably was in last year. Number 20, Justin Fields. Now I think that Justin Fields is an incredibly talented quarterback. I do not think he is an incredibly talented passer, at least not at the NFL level. We have not seen that in his first 2 seasons thus far. He has not shown that he is a good NFL quarterback up to this point at passing the ball. He's a good runner. He has very good rushing stats. He has a very great rushing ability. I just hope that DJ Moore helps him a lot this season to make him feel more comfortable and show off his skills as an actual passing quarterback. I do think that he will progress significantly this season, but only have to be a top 20 quarterback in the NFL, which is not saying much, especially comparing him to the quarterback he was drafted with, such as Trevor Lawrence, who's a top 10 quarterback easily. So I think Justin Fields can get there, just not this season. Number 19, Derek Carr. This guy was good. I mean, he's a solid quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a solid veteran leader that you want to have on your team, like the New Orleans Saints. I think he's a perfect fit for New Orleans, considering they have a lot of old guys and some young guys. So he's like a good bridge quarterback for them. He's nothing special, so 19 is suitable for Derek Carr. Number 18, Geno Smith. This guy was definitely better than the 18th best quarterback in the league last season. I do not think that that is sustainable for Geno Smith. I think that he'll be a solid quarterback still, and he will lead the Eagles or the Seahawks to the playoffs probably. But I do not believe that he is a top 12, 15 quarterback in the league. I think he's right around the middle of the pack there at 18. Number 17, Brock Purdy. Now, I know this is going to get some people mad. Brock Purdy, statistically, physically, does not um, stand out to you as a really good quarterback in the NFL. Now, 17 isn't saying he's a really good quarterback in the NFL, but having him over a guy like Geno Smith or like Derek Carr is going to make some people wonder. But I just think that this guy does everything right. He doesn't do everything great. He does everything right. He doesn't throw insane passes downfield. He throws the right pass. He doesn't that's basically what I'm trying to say. He's a smart player who does everything right, not everything great. And right with that, I think he's a solid quarterback right around the middle of the pack at number 17. Number 16, Kenny Pickett. Now, I do think Kenny Pickett will take a big jump this year from last year. Part of that is because his receivers have improved. I think George Pickett, right? That's his name? George Pickett George Pickens, sorry. George Pickens. I think George Pickens will improve vastly from this year, from last year. And they have other receivers. They have Calvin Austin that did not have last year due to injury. They have Allen Robinson, who's a good veteran wide receiver that can help a young guy like Kenny Pickett improve. So I think Kenny Pickett will have a good jump this year from his rookie year at number 16. Number 15, Matthew Stafford. This guy could be a lot lower if he's injured and can't throw a football properly like last season. But Matthew Stafford is a talented quarterback, and I think 15 is suitable for him because he's not like a top-tier quarterback anymore, but he's still a pretty solid quarterback. I think 15 is a good spot for him. Number 14, Russell Wilson. Last season, Russell Wilson was not a number 14 quarterback. He was like 20 to 25. He was so bad last year. But he also had a horrible offensive coordinator, right? Yeah, or head coach, whatever. Um, Nathaniel Hackett was not a good coach. He did not help Russell Wilson at all last season. Sean Payton is a way better coach. He should do a lot better for Russell Wilson this season, and hopefully he plays like Russell Wilson again. Number 14 quarterback in the league is not like Russell Wilson again. That'd be top 8 quarterback probably, but this is at least a step in the right direction. Number 13, Kirk Cousins. I think he will have good numbers like he did last year. He will have insane numbers, honestly, probably. Like 4,500 yards and 30 plus touchdowns. That's pretty good numbers, dude. But I just don't think he's like a great quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback. But he's nothing too special. Having Justin Jefferson does help him a lot. Number 12, Dak Prescott. Some people have this dude at like number 8 or 7 on their quarterback list, which does not make any sense to me personally, because this guy led the league in interceptions last year despite missing 5 games. A top 10 quarterback in the league does not lead the league in interceptions despite missing 5 games. They do not lead the league in interceptions, period. This dude had 15 interceptions last year in like 12 games. I think this year he's going to at least have 15 interceptions, and his line from Vegas was like 11.5 or 12.5 for interceptions on the season, which is just retarded because anybody who is smart will smash the over on that because Dak Prescott is like not an elite level quarterback. I just don't understand why some people think that. I think number 12 is the highest I can put him, and that still might be a little bit high. Number 11, Jared Goff. This guy was a top 7 quarterback last year. Some people do not like to admit that, but he was really good last year. I think he'll be really good again this year. I just don't think he'll be quite as good as he was last year. But number 11 quarterback for Jared Goff, if 2 years ago somebody told you that Jared Goff was the 11th best quarterback in the league, you'd think they were crazy. But that seems to be the reality that we have right now with Jared Goff. Starting off the top 10, give me Tua Tagovailoa. This guy could be better than top 10 if his brain did not get squashed last season because this guy was a top 5 quarterback last year, per his stats at least, and his team was winning a lot last year. If he can keep that up again this year, he could be a top 5 quarterback. But I don't think that is sustainable. That was a different level of performance by Tua in his limited time last season. But I think that he can easily have 4,000 plus yards and 35 plus touchdowns. And he has 2 of the best weapons in the entire league. So that really helps him a lot. So part of his success is going to be because he has such great weapons. Okay, that's why I can't put him much higher than number 10. Number 9 is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is a really good quarterback in the NFL. He's a great quarterback. I don't think he's quite the elite level, but he is one step away from being there. By the end of the season, I think he'll be an elite level quarterback. Right now, not quite, but he is right on the step. He's knocking on the door of an elite level quarterback. So don't get mad at me when I say he's not. Number 8, Deshaun Watson. This could be controversial because last year Deshaun Watson played like 6 games and he was not very good. But he also only played 6 games after not playing the whole season before that. So he had not played football in almost 2 seasons. And people were expecting him to come in and just play like old Deshaun Watson. I don't think that was very realistic to begin with. So I think that this year, after having a whole offseason of work and a whole he prepared in the preseason and he had games last year, whole offseason to work with his new guys and everything, I think that he will have a much better season this year than he had last season. So number 7, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is an elite level quarterback. That is 100% a fact. He's an elite level runner, obviously. Everybody knows that. But some people just don't like to admit that he's an elite level passer as well. Lamar Jackson is an elite level passer, and I do think that he does have some injury problems, which is really unfortunate because he has hardly played in the playoffs because he's injured. Once they get to the playoffs, he's injured, which is very unfortunate. But Lamar Jackson is an elite level quarterback, and I think he's the 7th best quarterback in the league. Number 6, Aaron Rodgers. This guy did not have a top 10 season last year, but he also had his main 2 targets were rookie receivers. Like 2 of his main 3 targets were rookie wide receivers, and he had no chemistry with them. They were dropping passes. Like he was just not in an ideal situation last year as a 38-year-old starting quarterback in the NFL. But this year, he has way better weapons than he had last year, just to say that. And he has better defense. He's on a way better team with way better help around him, which is going to make him look a lot better than he did last year. Number 5, Jalen Hurts. Some people could say this guy is the 2nd best quarterback in the league because of his insane Super Bowl performance. He did have an amazing Super Bowl performance from both a running and throwing standpoint. But that's just one game. I know he had an incredible season last year as well. But that was also partly because their team was just so incredible. Strictly from an individual quarterback standpoint, he is the 5th best quarterback in the league. I'm not making any arguments for him to be any higher than that. Number 4 is Justin Herbert. He is insanely talented. He's insanely talented at throwing the ball, puts up insane stats. He just doesn't win a lot of games. I think a lot of that is because Brandon Staley's a freaking idiot, honestly. That's what I would say. Brandon Staley should have been fired 2 years ago. So a lot of people might have Jalen Hurts over Justin Herbert, but a lot of the reason is because of team success, which is not solely on the quarterback's fault, which is why I have Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts. Number 3 is Josh Allen. Some people have him over Joe Burrow. Me personally, I do not. A lot of that is because Josh Allen is a lot more turnover prone than Joe Burrow. He is more physically gifted than Joe Burrow. He has a bigger arm. He's definitely better at running the ball than Joe Burrow, but he also takes a lot more chances than Joe Burrow, and with those chances comes more interceptions. So with that, I will have Josh Allen at number 3, and then you will see that I have Joe Burrow at number 2. Joe Burrow is an amazing quarterback. I love Joe Burrow. He does not turn the ball over a lot, which is good, right? Obviously, you don't want someone that turns the ball over a lot. He puts up insane numbers, even and he's a smart quarterback. He has elite weapons. He puts up insane numbers. Smart. He's just a great quarterback, I would say. Number one quarterback in the NFL, I would say, is Patrick Mahomes. Obviously. Is that a surprise to anybody? This guy won the MVP, won the Super Bowl MVP. He's the best player in the league, without a doubt. So saying he's the best quarterback in the league is just given. He's probably the MVP favorite for this next season, too. He's probably going to put close to 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns this season. Patrick Mahomes is easily the best quarterback in the league. So with that, thank you for watching. Let me know if you liked this format of video. And please watch the rest of the videos that I am putting out this week. There's a lot of them.